How's everybody doing today? It's been a little while. I am so sorry about that. I posted a poll on YouTube asking. I have to change my lives to be on a weekday because now my husband and I are now that we can do things. It seems like things keep getting scheduled for Saturdays, and I am not able to do my lives. So even though I work during the week, I don't go in until 3 o'clock or after my time. So I'm just going to go ahead and do my lives during the week. And I posted the poll, but I only got like 5 votes for what day to do. So anyway, we're going to try it out today. We're going to see what happens. And we'll see if this day works. If it doesn't, then I'll change it again until we get it right. But anyway, so today we are talking about, there we go, essential homestead skills. And today's topic is livestock. Brooke Calgo, hello, how are you doing? Paul, thank you for coming in. I was just saying, I'm so sorry I have not been able to go live. We keep having things that are happening on Saturdays, so I'm changing my lives to be someday during the week. We're going to try it today. As I said, I posted a poll, but I only got a few responses, so we'll just have to see what happens and if today works. If you haven't voted, go check out the poll, post your vote so we can see, what day is going to work best for everybody. But anyway, we're going to try it today and see how it goes. Ashley, hello. Thank you for coming in. All right, so today's topic, as I said, is livestock on the homestead. We all know that is definitely an essential skill to have. It's also probably the most varying skill based on, your skill level, the size of the property that you have, the money you can spend on infrastructure, the time that you have to put into it. So, it just kind of depends on what you have going on. Did you see what I typed before the live started? I don't know how that works. Yes, I did. About the painting of the picture, I did see that. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I seen that when I was looking for something to put as a thumbnail, and I just browsing the web and found that and was like, that will work because it kind of, is a culmination of everything that we're talking about pretty much. So anyway, we are going to start with backyard fowl. And let me see if I can, let's change this up a little bit. Oops. That's not what I wanted. There we go. That'll work for now until we get down to the bottom of the list. Anyway, backyard fowl. And of course that comes in many, many forms. Yeah, now that you mention that, seeing it on a jigsaw puzzle, I think I saw it on a jigsaw puzzle once too. But anyway, so first and most obvious, most common, probably the first thing people get into will be chickens. So I have chickens, and I have 2/3 of an acre. We've mentioned it many times. I know I could have chickens on much less property. The thing is, number one, they're dual purpose. You can have chickens for eggs, you can have chickens for meat, or you can have dual purpose birds that will do both things for you. As I said, you can have them in small spaces. But remember, restrictions. That's probably one of the things that you have to watch for, depending on how much property you have and where you're located, is even if you think you can and you have the space for it, if you're in the city, sometimes there are restrictions on how many that you can have. The nice thing is, with restrictions, a lot of times they say no roosters. No rooster is needed if you're raising them for eggs. You won't be able to, of course, hatch any or replenish or anything that way. But, if you have the space and you are going to have several, the ratio is typically somewhere around 1 rooster for every 10 hens. Any more than that, and I had this problem last year. The ladies get a little overworked. They had bare backs because they were being overworked, and I had to get rid of some roosters. Most most hens, especially when they are in their prime, will lay approximately 1 egg per day. So, just 3 hens is like an 18-pack of eggs every week. So it doesn't take very many if you're just providing for your own family. Just be careful. Chicken math is real. Trust me. That's the only thing you have to watch for. So anyway, next we are going to talk about ducks. Ducks is another thing that I actually have. I only have 3 left now. Turns out they're all 3 males. So I'm either going to have to get rid of them or get a couple of females. But anyway, we're working on that, trying to figure out what we're going to do there. But with the thing about ducks is they do require a little bit more space than chickens do. They also require some kind of water source. And because of that, they can be very, very messy. Ours are not too bad, but it's because of the setup that we have, the way we've created a raised pond for them. So there's not as much water in the area, their pen area that they're in. So it's not as messy, but it still can be messy. You also do get eggs, and they can also be used for meat. So it's kind of the same thing. You can have egg-laying breeds, you can have meat breeds, or you can have dual-purpose breeds that will do both for you. So they are another option, but you do have to remember they can be a little bit more maintenance and can be a little bit messy. Paul, you better behave. All right, so next on the list is geese. And again, I have a pair of geese, just 1 pair, Chinese geese, the white ones with the orange beak. The thing about them is they do need a little bit more space even than the ducks do, just because of their size. And again, they can be messy. They need to have a water source. Their egg laying is a little bit different though, because theirs is a little different because instead of laying all throughout the year like a chicken does, they lay in clutches. So in my area, with the weather the way that it is, in the neighborhood of April to May, they will start laying eggs, and they lay for just a couple of months or whatever until they think that they have what is a clutch of eggs. It can be anything from, it can be 12 to 50 eggs, who knows. And once they have their clutch, then they stop laying for the rest of the year so that they can focus on sitting on the eggs. Whether you pull them or not, that they're still going to stop laying. And yes, The thing about geese is they can be very mean. We have to be careful, even just with the one pair. And they like my husband because they are his geese. He's always been the one to take care of them. So he can put his arms out and say, you know, come here, and they'll come up and give him a hug and everything else. But if I come in the pen at all, then they're ready to attack me because I'm not the one that's, you know, been taking care of them. I'm an intruder as far as they're concerned. But anyway, you can also have them for meat. So it's kind of the same thing. It's just a different scale and a different kind of work that goes into it than with your chickens. Yes, geese can be bloody monsters. Got my oldest daughter fired from a job in the cat and dog shelter because of the geese on the property. Yeah. Yes, broke cowgirl. Yeah. You know, they can be very, very messy. Like I said, the way we have our setup as far as the messy part goes, it's not too bad. And you know, part of that is because I'm in California where we don't get a whole lot of rain. So it could get messier and stinkier and all that if we had more rain, but we don't. So it works for us. And honestly, I could do without the ducks and the geese. That is actually my husband's thing. If it were up to me, they'd be gone and I would take over that space for more garden space. So, you know, but I have to keep him happy so that I can keep the things that I want. So, hubby came home with a pair of ducks. I can't wait till they're gone. Yeah. Oh, how funny. Don't like either. Huh. You know, I don't even think I've eaten either myself. Like I said, I could do without either one of them. So, you know. All right. So next on the list, turkeys. I had a couple of turkeys, and they didn't last long. Yes, they need a bigger space than chickens do. They don't roost as high usually. I mean, they can, but they're bigger and heavier. Hey, Daryl. Duck is very dry and dark meat. Yeah. But anyway, turkeys can be pretty dumb. They're stupid. I've heard people say they look for ways to die because they're so dumb. They get themselves into predicaments. And like I said, the two that I had didn't last very long. So I would love to raise turkeys, but that would mean another bigger coop. Yes. Yeah. I want to raise turkeys again, but only if I am in a situation where I have a separate space so they don't have to be in with the chickens. And, you know, I could keep everything separate. I need more room. I don't have that here. So, like I said, they're stupid. So when you're doing turkeys, if you're planning on having, you know, even if you just say like one per month, if you're 12 isn't going to do it. You need more like 20 because you're probably going to lose more than half. But some people are a little more successful at it. I guess if you have the right setup and know what you're doing, you can make it a little easier, but they are a little difficult to raise. All right, so I know there are other fowl that I am not mentioning here that I didn't put in here. Things like guineas, which is good for, you know, fleas and ticks and bugs and things like that. But I did not put those on here. I was just kind of sticking to the main four. So next on our list is meat rabbits. And I know they're so cute. White and red meat. Yes, turkeys are pretty much like chickens, just on a bigger scale when it comes to their meat and all that. Can't free range any birds, so they would need a big space. Yeah. Yeah, see, I can't free range mine either. I mean, I'm in a neighborhood. I have to be careful. Hi, Bud Files. How are you today? So anyway, meat rabbits require very little space. It can be done in a very, very, very small space. I mean, you can do it. The good thing is there's not a lot of restrictions because rabbits are rabbits. So most places don't have any kind of restrictions on rabbits. And you can have your cages in a garage, on a patio, anything like that. They do require, I mean, unless you're going to just let them run wild, which I don't recommend doing. But if you're going to say like a trio of rabbits is usually the way people start out with a trio, which is one male and two female. They require a little bit more management for breeding and separating and things like that, just to make sure things aren't going crazy. So they do require more time, but much less space. You can have them in, like I said, a garage if you want to. And one trio can produce, depending on what breeds you have, in the neighborhood of 150 pounds of meat per year, if you know what you're doing. Numismaniac, hello. Thank you for coming in. We're doing rabbits just for the poo. Yeah. I refuse to pay $600 for a poultry fence setup. Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same way. And I work. I don't have the time to be moving stuff around and all that. So even with my chickens, it's a fixed, coop and run for them. If I do get into meat birds, which I do want to do, but it have to be small scale at a time, I want to be able to move them around my yard. But otherwise, I don't like to have to take the time for, moving mobile coops and stuff all the time. I just don't have time for that. So, yeah, 10 by 10, movable. Yep. Oh, Lordy. All right, so now we're going to get into some of the bigger animals. And let's start with dairy. I loved this picture of the cow. But animals that you would keep for your milk, for all kinds of things. So we're going to start with goats. Goats, of course, are, bigger than chickens and turkeys and all that kind of stuff, but smaller than keeping cows. So you don't require as much space. But they are slippery little boogers. Escape artists, as I heard people call them all the time. So you need to make sure that you have good fencing, good infrastructure for goats. And because they're smaller, you're going to get less milk than you do with, say, a cow. But they're a good option if you don't have acres and acres of property and you have the time to manage them. They are cute, though. So then that will bring us to, let's see, if I missed anything. The feed cost of raising rabbits is way more than raising meat chickens. Plus, with meat chickens, you're done in 8 weeks and don't have a feed bill the other 44 weeks. Yeah. The only reason I brought that up is for people who have restrictions and cannot keep chickens, even meat chickens, because of where they live. The rabbits is just another option for someone who can't have the chickens. And yes, Paul, you are correct. Goat's milk is a great option if you can't have cow's milk. We just won a pig, so jumping into that one a few years ahead of schedule. Well, I guess that's one way to learn, huh? Not enough room. Yep, I hear you. Okay, so then of course that brings us to cows, dairy cows in specific. Um, Now, it's kind of the exact opposite of everything that we just said for the goats. They are bigger, so they require a whole lot more space. Um, and usually we're talking, acres, depending on how many you have and what you got going on. You need quite a bit of space, especially if they're going to graze. But you also get a lot more milk. So, it's a trade-off. They're very heavy, although they don't get mischievous like goats do and escape in that manner. Because they're heavy, you do have to make sure you have good fencing. You have to remember that if you're not going to keep a male around, then you have to breed every so often to keep them in milk. And then, of course, there will be no milk during the time that they are carrying and all that fun stuff. So anyway, there's maintenance to it. There's a lot of timing things to consider in that area, but definitely worth it if you have the time and the space to do that. I cannot wait till I get to a point where I can do something like this, but I'm not sure that's ever going to happen. So, and I'm sure there are, I couldn't think of what other animals people keep for milk. I think that's pretty much it. Milking 3 right now, once a day, and I get a little over a half gallon a day. Oh, so you're talking about the goats, I'm assuming. We have a neighbor that just got 2 dairy cows. She's so overwhelmed because of the amount of milk she gets every day. That's why I chose goats. Yeah, I can understand that. Now, for me, I would love to have that much milk. First of all, plenty of family to share with. But I also would love to be able to do, cheese and yogurt and ice cream and sour cream and, heavy whipping cream and just all of those things that come from milk. I would make my own butter, of course. I'd love to be able to do all of that. All right, so now we're going to move into some of the bigger, aside from your backyard fowl and the rabbits, your meat animals. So we're going to start with pigs for pork. Now, pigs, believe it or not, don't really require a whole lot of space. And depending on what breed you get, some of them can be very messy and root very deep into the ground and can cause quite the mess. But some of them don't hardly root at all and can be used more for clearing ground and things like that as they're growing out. The other thing is they will eat almost anything. They're not picky, and their bodies can handle just about anything you put out for them. So that's always good. And, the meat, everybody, who doesn't like pork? Bacon, of course, hams and all that, pork chops and all that good stuff. So anyway, it's a good option if you have a little bit of space because they don't require a whole lot and they're relatively easy to take care of. And then next we have, of course, your cows for beef. Muslims don't like pork. Eat so much pork. Yep. Oh. Yeah, see, I would love to be able to do pigs. I'm terrible because if I had the money and the space to get started, I would do, well, I can't say I would do everything because there are some things. My main thing is cows, pigs, chickens. That's what I would like to have. Love having our beef cattle. We eat a lot of beef. Yeah, and see, we would eat more beef if we had the cattle to do it because beef is the most expensive meat out there. So Indians from India don't eat cows. That's true. That is true. So anyway, cows, of course, it's just like having your dairy cows. They require a whole lot more space, and they require a whole lot more time. Time for um, breeding and weaning and all that good stuff. So it's not like you can have just one. Doesn't work that way, which is why you have to have so much space. But great option if you do have the space. I wish I had acres and acres so that I can raise beef, but that will probably never happen. So, All right, then we have sheep. Oops, I did not mean to do that. Trying to do that. Okay, so sheep, of course, is just like your chickens and stuff like that. You have dairy goats and you have meat goats, and then you have ones that can be dual purpose. You can do both. Um, Now, I personally have never had goat meat. I know a lot of people do, so I couldn't tell you anything about it, but I threw it in here because it is definitely something that people do. I can't really talk a whole lot about it because I don't know a lot about it. And also, there's a third option. Well, no, hold on. We'll hold that thought. Well, maybe we won't. Um, Sheep also you can have wool. You can have sheep that you raise specifically for wool. But that is definitely a lot of work. So it's an option. I think I kind of got mixed up on my sheep and goats thing a while ago. But anyway, goats again, you can have meat goats, you can have dairy goats, and you can have dual purpose. But I don't know a lot about sheep at all, so I didn't really say a whole lot about them other than the fact that you can have them for meat, for lamb, for mutton, whatever, and you can also raise them for wool. All right, so next option, of course, bees. We went on a ram hunt and I got a merino ram. Had it made into summer sausage, and that was really good. Yes, I've never had it, so I couldn't really tell you. Yeah, I agree. From what I hear, Ashley, it's kind of a love-hate thing. You either love it or you hate it. Why do goats always have a smile on their face? They do look like they always have a smile. All right, so bees is one of those things. Of course, you get the honey that comes from them. You also get beeswax. You also get honeycomb. Um, they do require some management, of course. Stellar beehives in the Arctic blast. Yeah, a lot of people did. Anyway, you also get the honeycomb. There's just a lot of things that you can do with the byproduct of keeping bees. But they do require some management. You do have to be on your toes as to what's going on. Hives can get out of control fairly quickly. So you do have to make sure you know what you're doing as far as keeping them managed. I love to have bees, but they already like me too much. Yeah. Okay, so now for those who are in, apartment complexes or places where they can't do any of this kind of stuff, and then even people who have the space, don't forget you also have hunting that you can do to put meat on the table, to tan hides that you have left over, make things out of the horns and stuff from certain animals, depending on what they are. There's just a lot of things that you can do with it and still bring home meat. It's very hard to raise bees because Africanized bees. Ew. Wow. Huh. But anyway, then another option, of course, which I love to do, is fishing. And again, put some meat in your freezer, meat on your table, whatever you need to do. But a lot of people hunt for deer. A lot of people hunt for wild boar, even pheasants, and certain types of birds. Homestead Aquarius, hello. Thank you for popping in. So anyway, there are a lot of options for getting meat in your freezer and, providing eggs and all of that kind of stuff. And it just varies based on, again, how much time you have, how much space you have, how much money you have to get it going, how much time you want to devote to maintenance or infrastructure and all that kind of stuff. There's just so many options. And again, chickens is probably the way everybody gets started because they are the easiest, require the least amount of space, and right off the bat, you get eggs out of it. So, Gardening Warrior Q, hello, hello. So anyway, that is pretty much it for that. So I'm gonna, if I can get over here, I'm gonna take that off the screen. And again, I'm very sorry I have not been able to do a live in a couple of weeks. Things keep getting scheduled on Saturdays, which is why I'm going to have to quit doing my lives on Saturdays because, I'm not complaining. We spent so much time. We had many years of not being able to do anything because we were taking care of the mother-in-law and stuff. We just couldn't go anywhere. So now we can. We keep, birthday parties that we were never able to go to, which keep coming up, and holidays and all that kind of stuff. Saturdays seem to be very busy for us now, which they never were before. So I'm going to switch my lives. We're going to try the Mondays. As I said, I put out, for those of you who weren't here in the beginning, I put out a poll on my channel, but I only got like 5 responses. What day of the week works better for you guys? It will still be this time slot because that's the only time slot that works for me. But like I said, I only got like 5 responses. So we're trying it today because that's the only one that had 2 votes. Everything else only had 1. And see how it goes. But if that doesn't work, we'll try a different day of the week until we get it right. But we'll just have to see how that goes. I have For those of you who saw some of my videos, I still have not figured out what is getting into the garden, but I have been doing some things for deterring, and so far they seem to be working pretty well. I just did, actually today, a update video, which will come out tomorrow. I have some plants. I finally had to break down. It's so frustrating because this year I tried so hard. I got the greenhouse, got it all set up, got all my stuff started so that I would be ahead of the game, and then all of it pretty much was ruined. So I had to revert to getting some plants that I have put in beds now. So far, I'm pretty much keeping them away with the bird netting, and one you'll see on the video that I'm posting tomorrow. I bought these things at 99-cent store last year that are little, well, I say little, they're probably 16 inches long, 4 inches wide, and they're plastic, but they're like little spikes that stick up all over the thing. Like little mats, I guess you would say, with spikes in them. And so I have put those around some areas where I can't get the bird netting quite right. And that seems to be helping. So anyway, all I can do is keep trying, and I got to just keep putting stuff out there and keep trucking. Otherwise, I'm not going to have anything this year. So, and I know I wish I had a trail cam so that I could put it up and see what exactly is getting in there, but that's more money that I don't have. So, we've been caring for mother-in-law for 5 years, thankfully. Lives about 100 yards away. Yeah. Well, see, the mother-in-law lived with us, and for the last 3 or 4 years, she was pretty much had to have somebody here with her all the time. And then the last year was really bad. She had dementia, and so somebody had to be here. So we weren't able to, we couldn't go away for the weekend, couldn't go camping, couldn't do an all-day fishing trip, couldn't do any of that kind of stuff. So, and like I said, we missed a lot of birthday parties and a lot of any family holiday gatherings that we did were the ones that were done here. So now we've been able to go other places and go to the birthday parties and have. It's kind of funny that this was the first Thanksgiving in I don't know how long that I didn't have to cook a whole bunch of stuff because it wasn't at my house. So, but anyway, like I said, I'm not complaining about it. It is what it is. But it is nice to be able to actually do things now. So that's why I have to change the scheduling. And I just have to figure out what's going to work. It may take a little bit of time, but peacocks are edible. Strong fragrance around your garden to do them. Yeah. Peacock getting into your garden. Huh. Wow. My gran used bleach around the edge of her garden to keep and they were from eating her. Huh. Wow. Yeah, see, husband's been looking it up, and I've been looking it up. We've been trying to figure out all the different things that are, things you can plant, flowers you can put in, or things like the garlic and onions and things that will help deter. And the one bed that seems to be the biggest problem, I have thyme in there, and I have basil and sage, I think. And, I don't know if those have really just started taking off. So I don't know if that's another reason why whatever's been getting in there hasn't been as bad lately. I don't know, but we'll have to see. Bars of Irish soap. I've heard of that one. Go pull your onions. Shirley, just doing our best. Hello, how are you? And I'm assuming all of you guys, I saw Ashley did a mail call video, but I'm assuming any of you who had prizes coming from the giveaway for the Feast in a Jar collaboration, you should have gotten all of those by now. I'm not too sure about Shirley. I can't remember who was it that and Vita that had won my keychain, magnet, stickers, all that stuff on your giveaway. I did get that stuff sent out. I had to had to send it in 2 envelopes because the international stamps are good for 1 ounce or less. And when I put everything in the envelope, it was 1.2 ounces. So it was cheaper because once you went past that, the cost for shipping, it was like ridiculous. So it was cheaper to get 2 envelopes and put half of it in one envelope, half of it in the other envelope, and put 2 international stamps, 1 on each envelope, and sending them off that way. So anyway, they should be getting theirs if they don't have it already. I also had one that was going to Canada. So that should be there. Yeah, I couldn't believe when I was looking at, when I, weighed it and was looking at what it was going to cost to ship it. It was like, really? Why can't I just put it in 2 envelopes? Then it's, because it was what, $1.40 something for an international stamp. So less than $3. I sent them both. I was bummed when I won because we had just, yeah, I seen you talking about that on your video. The towel's hanging up now. Cool. Glad to hear it. Oh, what am I going to do with you, Paul? Yeah, I've been debating on whether or not I was going to let mine go gray. Get tired of dyeing it so often. So, So anyway, my point is, everything that I had that was supposed to go out to somebody for any reason at all should be there. Actually, they should already have it. I don't know how long it takes for the stuff to get to India. I don't know how long it takes for the stuff to get to Canada. But those 2 packages, I don't know. But the rest of it should be definitely there. Jerry, hello. Should have brought more toys. Yeah. So anyway, that's what I got going on after the last couple of weeks of. Now, I don't know if I updated everybody. Everybody knew that my husband had March 18th. Part of the issue with me not doing my lives the last few weeks, they were going to wait 6 months to a year before they put the stent that he needed on the backside of the heart. But that first Saturday that I missed, that I didn't do a live, was because we had company over on Saturday, and so I was going to do it on Sunday, but my husband was having some chest pains and he wasn't doing too good. So I ended up just canceling altogether. So that next week, we went to the doctor. He had his regular doctor's appointment with the cardiologist. And he decided that because of the chest pain and stuff, that he did not want to wait to do the stent. So we were there in the office on a Tuesday, scheduled him for the stent placement on a Friday. And of course, he had to overnight in the hospital, all that fun stuff. So that's another thing that's been going on the last couple of weeks. But so now he has had the stent replacement done also. So he's doing good. We'll just have to see if he stays that way. He says he feels good. He says he feels better than he has in a long time. And like I said, we'll just have to see if it stays that way and hope that this cured the problem. So. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. Mail service is fun. Took 6 weeks for one packet of seeds to get from Miss. Wow. Wow. Yeah, you just never know. I was very surprised when I sent my stuff out because I had it all ready. I used Pirate Ship. I had it all ready, set it up for the post office, our mail delivery person to pick up the packages on Monday. And almost everything was there by Friday. So I was pleasantly surprised. Something shiny inside. Okay, so let me real quick. Let's pull up since I find it. All right, we are going to go ahead and give something away. Where's my, there it is. Come on now. Let me get it out of here. All right, we're going to give away this sign, Honey, Bees, and Flowers, Please, along with this one. Get out there and strut your stuff. So I'll put those in an envelope. We're going to do, let me share. All right, and let's do hashtag, let's do honey. And we will give those away. I do have a mail call that I need to do. I don't see anybody typing in hashtag honey. There we go. Thank you, Jerry. I'm going to look here. There we go. Coming in now. we'll just, I know there's not very many people in here. Yeah, there's only like 5 people, so I'm just going to give it a minute. Like I said, there's not too many people in here, so. Oh, you're finally having that knee replacement. Huh. Well, I hope it all goes well. Be praying for a speedy recovery for you. All right, well, since I will get better or die. Oh, Jerry. Well, we'll be praying that you get better, of course. Uh, all right. Well, since I know there's only a few people in here anyway, cowgirl, thank you. It's only 2 weeks. My dad's 12 months. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and draw. Oh, I guess it helps if I click in the right spot. Surely, just doing our best. Very nice. Write that down. Congratulations. All right. I will get that in the mail to you in the next day or two. It's easy to win when there's only like 5 people in the draw. All right. So our hour is just about up. So I thank you to everybody who showed up. I know it wasn't too many people. Off day, not my normal day. Like I said, we're going to do this probably for a couple of weeks on Mondays and see how it goes. And if it doesn't go well, then we'll pick another day. And like I said, if you didn't put your vote in on the poll as to what day was going to work best, then make sure you go over and do that. And thank you guys again for hanging out. And I will see you guys on the next one.